Have you ever wondered why your legs are getting weaker even though you still try to eat healthily, maintain regular exercise habits, and live a balanced lifestyle? The stairs you used to climb effortlessly now seem steeper. Standing up from a chair now requires a bit more strength. Is it simply due to aging, or could there be a silent cause quietly affecting your legs every day? The truth may surprise you. Sometimes it is not because you are inactive or neglecting self-care, but rather the familiar foods those you believe are good for your health that are quietly impacting the strength of your legs. In particular, some fruits that seem harmless can even make joint pain worse and gradually weaken your muscles without you realizing it. According to experts from the Arthritis Foundation, aging not only slows down the body's recovery ability, but also makes us more sensitive to certain nutrients in food, especially those high in natural sugars and acids. Similarly, research from Harvard Health Publishing also emphasizes that small changes in diet can make a big difference in muscle strength and mobility in people over 60 years old. In today's video, we will explore 7 common fruits that older adults should be cautious with, as well as discover safer alternatives to protect joints, muscles, and maintain steady steps. This could be valuable information to help you take a more proactive approach in caring for your health. So do not leave the video yet, because at the end I will share some foods that can truly help your body grow stronger day by day. 1. Pineapple. Let us start with a tropical fruit that almost everyone loves, which is pineapple, with its sweet and refreshing flavor and attractive golden color. Pineapple has long been known as a source of bromelain enzyme, famous for its anti-inflammatory properties. However, for those over 60 years old, the story of pineapple needs a different perspective and more careful attention. A glass of fresh pineapple juice, about 240 milliliters, can contain nearly 16 grams of natural sugar and a significant amount of acid. These numbers may seem small at first, but when you remember that according to the Arthritis Foundation, as we age, our blood vessels and connective tissues become more fragile and sensitive to changes in blood sugar, you will understand why pineapple can have a negative impact if consumed uncontrollably. When you eat pineapple, the high natural sugar content is quickly absorbed into the blood, causing a spike in blood sugar levels. The body will release insulin to process this sugar, but in older adults, insulin response weakens, leading to greater blood sugar fluctuations. According to research from Harvard Medical School, these blood sugar swings weaken microcirculation, especially in the lower limbs where blood must fight gravity to return to the heart. As a result, oxygen and nutrients needed for muscles and joints become insufficient, causing feelings of heavy legs, tiredness after walking slight, swelling in the ankles, and unusual joint stiffness. Moreover, the natural acid in pineapple is another factor to consider. This acid can irritate joints that already show signs of degeneration or mild inflammation, increasing dull pain sensations, especially in the knees and hips. Some people who eat a lot of pineapple report that their calves feel weaker and find it harder to climb stairs, even though they previously had no noticeable issues. If you are taking blood-thinning medications such as warfarin or aspirin, bromelain and pineapple may interact with these drugs, increasing the risk of bleeding. This is an important note recorded by Mayo Clinic that should not be overlooked. So how can you enjoy the sweetness of pineapple without harming your legs? The secret lies in reasonable consumption. If you love pineapple, limit each serving to a small amount, about 3 to 4 moderate pieces, and eat it along with foods rich in fiber or protein, such as unsweetened Greek yogurt. This combination will slow down sugar absorption into the blood, reducing the sudden impact on the circulatory system. Pineapple can still be part of an older adult's diet, but it is important to listen to your body. If after eating pineapple you feel your legs tire easily or your joints feel slightly tense, that is a signal to reduce the frequency of enjoying this fruit. If you find this analysis helpful, do not forget to share your experience in the comments. Have you ever felt leg fatigue after eating pineapple? I would love to hear your story. 2. Banana. When mentioning the most loved fruits in the world, bananas are certainly at the top of the list. With their naturally sweet taste, soft texture, and convenience, bananas have long been considered an ideal food to quickly provide energy. especially thanks to their abundant potassium content. However, behind that attractive yellow peel, bananas can bring some silent troubles to those over 60 years old, especially for those facing muscle and leg joint issues. A medium-sized banana contains about 27 grams of carbohydrates, of which more than 14 grams are natural sugars. This is not a small amount when considering the need to control blood sugar in older adults. According to the American Clinical Nutrition Institute, when the body absorbs such a quick amount of sugar and starch, blood sugar levels rise sharply, triggering an insulin response. If this happens frequently, it can lead to insulin resistance, weakening the body's ability to transport glucose into muscle cells for energy use. For the elderly, the consequences are easy to notice: a heavy feeling in the calves' legs, getting tired quickly after meals or even after a short walk. Moreover, bananas can contribute to water retention in the body, especially in people with cardiovascular problems. When the balance between sodium and potassium in the blood is disrupted, more water accumulates in the soft tissues, leading to swelling in the feet and ankles. If you have ever felt your shoes getting tighter in the afternoon without knowing why, it could be due to a diet rich in fast sugars, like bananas. A study published in the journal Circulation by the American Heart Association shows that silent inflammation caused by blood sugar fluctuations is one of the leading causes of weakening the small circulatory system that nourishes muscles and joints. This means that after each time eating bananas, even if you do not feel it immediately, your legs are silently under prolonged pressure. So should we completely eliminate bananas from our diet? The answer is not necessarily. Bananas still have certain nutritional values, especially for those needing potassium supplementation to prevent cramps. The key lies in eating wisely. If you enjoy bananas, choose ones that are just ripe, avoiding overripe bananas because their sugar content is higher. At the same time, combine bananas with foods rich in protein or healthy fats, such as a spoonful of natural peanut butter or a few walnuts. This combination will slow down sugar absorption and limit negative impacts on blood sugar and circulation. Additionally, avoid eating bananas right before bedtime, as blood sugar increases during rest can raise the risk of morning foot swelling. If you are using diuretics or cardiovascular medications, consult your doctor about adjusting potassium intake to avoid adverse interactions. Sometimes small changes in eating habits can bring significant differences in health. Have you ever noticed your legs feeling heavier or slightly swollen after eating bananas? If so, do not hesitate to share your feelings in the comment section below. I believe every story can help our community understand our bodies better. 3. Grapes. Small, sweet grape clusters always bring a refreshing feeling when enjoyed. With their reputation as a food rich in antioxidants and good for health, grapes have long been considered an ideal snack. However, for middle-aged and older adults, eating grapes without caution can silently affect muscle and joint health more than you might think. A cup of fresh grapes, about 150 grams, contains nearly 23 grams of sugar, mainly in the form of fructose. According to data from Harvard School of Public Health, fructose is a simple sugar that is processed very quickly by the liver. When fructose consumption exceeds a safe level, the liver rapidly converts the excess into visceral fat and uric acid, two dangerous factors closely linked to arthritis and muscle weakness. Over time, accumulated uric acid in the blood can deposit in joints, especially small joints such as the big toe, ankle, and knee. This is why many older adults suddenly feel sharp pain in the toes at night or experience stiffness and difficulty stretching their legs in the morning after eating a lot of sweet fruits like grapes. According to the American College of Rheumatology, high uric acid levels not only increase the risk of gout but also promote chronic inflammation throughout the musculoskeletal system. Fructose does not stop at producing uric acid. It also triggers systemic inflammation by increasing the production of pro-inflammatory cytokines. This leads to muscle stiffness, reduced flexibility, and an increased risk of sudden cramps during light activities like climbing stairs or walking. Another danger of grapes is that they are very easy to overeat. Because of their small size and pleasant sweetness, it is easy to eat dozens of grapes without realizing that the sugar intake has far exceeded safe limits. When a large amount of sugar accumulates, especially in the evening, it can hinder muscle recovery during sleep, leaving you feeling tired and sore in your limbs the next morning. So are grapes entirely bad? The answer is no. Grapes, especially red and black, varieties contain a lot of resveratrol, a powerful antioxidant beneficial for heart health. However, it is important to consume them in moderation. A suitable serving of grapes for people over 60 should be limited to about 10 to 12 small grapes per meal eaten during the day, avoiding late evening consumption, and combined with protein-rich foods such as a small amount of low-fat, fresh cheese to minimize sudden blood sugar spikes. If you are experiencing joint problems, feelings of stiffness, mild swelling, or frequent cramps, controlling your grape intake may help you notice significant improvements within just a few weeks. Have you ever experienced mild swelling or dull aching after eating grapes? If so, please share your experience in the comment section. Every story can be a source of encouragement for others on the same journey of caring for their health. 4. Watermelon. Nothing is more wonderful than a refreshing slice of watermelon on hot summer days. With more than 90% water content, watermelon is often praised as a food that replenishes hydration, cools the body, and quenches thirst immediately. However, what few people realize is that the seemingly harmless fruit can silently harm muscles and joints, especially in older adults. A serving of diced watermelon, about 150 grams, contains nearly 11 grams of natural sugar. Although watermelon is low in calories, about 46 calories, the important point to note is that its glycemic index (GI) is very high, reaching up to 76. According to Harvard Health Publishing, foods with a high GI cause blood sugar levels to spike quickly after eating, then drop sharply, creating strong fluctuations that harm the circulatory system and muscles. In younger people, the body can still regulate blood sugar levels flexibly, but in those over 60, this mechanism slows down significantly. When blood sugar fluctuates strongly after eating watermelon, the body produces more insulin, increasing systemic inflammation, especially in areas with poor circulation such as the calves, ankles, and knees. This explains why many people who eat a lot of watermelon in the afternoon or evening often feel heavy legs and tired calves the next morning, even after only light activity. Moreover, sudden blood sugar spikes disrupt the delivery of oxygen and nutrients to muscle tissues, making muscles more prone to fatigue, stiffness, or even cramps during the night. Some elderly patients also report mild ankle swelling and numbness after sitting for long periods, especially after meals that include watermelon. The problem is that because watermelon tastes light and mildly sweet, people tend to eat large quantities. One small slice, then another, and soon the total sugar intake exceeds the body's capacity to process at once. According to a study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, regularly consuming foods with a high glycemic index increases the risk of circulatory deterioration and microdamage in the musculoskeletal system of older adults. This means that maintaining the habit of eating a lot of watermelon continuously throughout the summer can make feelings of heavy legs, joint pain, and overall fatigue worse. So, should we completely give up watermelon? Not necessarily. If you love watermelon, enjoy it in small amounts. Ideally, not exceeding 100 to 150 grams at a time, and eat it as part of a meal rather than as a separate dessert. Also, combining watermelon with protein-rich foods like a piece of non-fat fresh cheese or a small handful of almonds can slow sugar absorption and better stabilize blood sugar after meals. Another important note is to avoid eating watermelon late at night, because at that time the body reduces its ability to process sugar and the risk of nighttime cramps increases significantly. Have you ever felt tired or unusually heavy in your legs after eating a lot of watermelon? If so, please share your experience in the comment section. These small stories can help many others realize the importance of controlling daily fruit consumption. 5. Oranges. Just hearing about oranges immediately brings to mind a rich natural source of vitamin C. A glass of orange juice in the morning or a juicy orange in the middle of the day has long been a familiar habit for many people, especially those who want to boost their immune system. However, for older adults, especially those facing joint pain, cramps, or muscle weakness, consuming oranges too often may have unexpected impacts on mobility health. A medium-sized orange contains about 12 grams of natural sugar, along with a significant amount of citric acid. Although the calorie content is not high, only around 60 calories according to research from the Arthritis Foundation, the citric acid in oranges can stimulate mild inflammation in joint tissues, especially when the body already shows signs of joint degeneration or mild arthritis due to aging. When citric acid enters the bloodstream, it can irritate connective tissues, worsening stiffness and pain, especially in weight-bearing joints like the knees, ankles, and hips. This is also why many older adults feel discomfort in their joints after consuming many oranges or drinking orange juice continuously for several days. Moreover, the natural sugar in oranges can also cause blood sugar fluctuations, especially when consumed as juice. A study published in the Harvard University Journal shows that frequent consumption of orange juice is associated with an increased risk of systemic inflammation and negatively affects circulatory function in older adults. When blood sugar rises quickly and drops suddenly, muscles, especially in the lower limbs, can experience energy shortages, leading to weak legs, quick fatigue, or even nighttime cramps. The habit of drinking orange juice early in the morning on an empty stomach is another factor to consider. On an empty stomach, the acid from oranges can strongly stimulate the stomach lining, causing bloating, indigestion, and unnecessary pressure on the digestive system, which becomes more sensitive with age. So how can we enjoy the refreshing taste of oranges without harming joint and muscle health? The best choice is to eat whole oranges instead of drinking juice. Eating whole orange segments helps you absorb additional fiber, slows down sugar absorption, and reduces negative impacts on blood sugar. Additionally, you should limit each serving to about one small orange and avoid eating oranges too close to main meals to prevent overburdening digestion. If you are experiencing joint inflammation or signs of leg fatigue, try reducing the frequency of eating oranges for a few weeks and observe your body's changes. Many people have shared that even this small adjustment helped them feel lighter in their legs and made their joints more flexible during movement. Have you ever noticed any differences after changing your habit of eating oranges? If so, please share your story in the comment section below. Your sharing can be a great source of motivation for others who are also on the journey of caring for their leg health. 6. Green apples. In the world of fruits, the image of green apples is always associated with freshness and health. With their smooth, shiny skin, mildly tart flavor, and lower sugar content compared to red apples, green apples are often considered an ideal choice for those who want to eat healthily, especially older adults. However, few people know that for those with musculoskeletal issues or weak muscles, eating green apples frequently also requires careful consideration. A medium-sized green apple provides about 95 calories and contains nearly 19 grams of carbohydrates, mainly from natural sugars. However, what makes green apples special is their higher malic acid content compared to other types of apples. Malic acid is a natural organic acid responsible for the distinctive tartness of green apples. According to research from McMaster University, while malic acid can support cellular energy in younger people, for older adults, it may irritate soft tissues, particularly in joints that already show mild inflammation or degeneration. This irritation does not always manifest immediately. Sometimes after a few hours or a day, those who eat green apples may notice an increase in dull pain in the hips, knees, or ankles. Some people even describe a feeling as if their legs are tightly bound, difficulty fully stretching after sitting for a long time, or a dull ache in the calves after simple movements. Aside from the issue of acid, the natural sugar in green apples, although not overly sweet, is still enough to cause small blood sugar fluctuations if eaten excessively or on an empty stomach. These small but continuous blood sugar swings can reduce the performance of the capillaries that nourish muscles and joints, making recovery after exercise slower. This is why many older adults, even after only gentle walking, easily feel calf fatigue or heaviness in their limbs by the end of the day. Another point to note is the habit of eating green apples as a late-night snack. Although it seems healthy to eat fruit at night with green apples, the acid and sugar intake at a time when the body needs rest can mildly irritate the digestive system and affect blood circulation to the lower limbs during sleep. This not only increases the risk of nighttime cramps, but also causes morning sensations of numbness or heaviness in the legs. However, this does not mean you must completely remove green apples from your diet. If you enjoy their refreshing taste, eat green apples during the day after a main meal when your stomach already has a food buffer to reduce the acid impact. In addition, eat green apples together with a source of protein or good fats, such as a few almonds or walnuts, to slow down sugar absorption and support digestion. Furthermore, if you have a history of joint pain, mild arthritis, or are prone to cramps, you might consider replacing green apples with red apples or gala apples, which are naturally sweeter, lower in acid, and gentler on an aging body. Have you ever noticed any differences between eating green apples and red apples? If so, please share your feelings with me in the comments section. Listening to your body is the first step to keeping your legs strong and steady. 7. Mango. In the list of the sweetest and most appealing fruits, mango is certainly at the top. With its rich sweetness, seductive aroma, and bright color, mango is not only a favorite treat, but also a symbol of summer in many parts of the world. However, behind its lively appearance, mango hides a silent risk for muscle and joint health, especially for middle-aged and older adults. A cup of diced mango, about 165 grams, can contain up to 45 grams of carbohydrates, of which more than 30 grams are natural sugars. That is an astonishing number equivalent to the amount of sugar found in a regular can of soda. According to data from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, such a high natural sugar content stimulates the body to release large amounts of insulin to process blood glucose. For older adults, decreased insulin response causes blood sugar to rise higher and take longer to return to balance. Each blood sugar spike not only affects energy levels, but also triggers short-term inflammation throughout the circulatory system. This inflammation concentrates most in areas with weak blood flow, such as the calves, knees, and ankles. This explains why many people, after enjoying a large amount of mango, even if feeling light while eating later, experience heavy legs, slow movements, and even mild swelling by the evening. Moreover, the high sugar content promotes the glycation process in the body, a phenomenon that makes collagen fibers in muscles, tendons, and ligaments become stiffer. This is one of the reasons why flexibility gradually decreases with age, and why climbing stairs, walking for long periods, or simply standing up and sitting down becomes more difficult after frequent consumption of sweet foods like mango. In addition, mango has a fairly high glycemic index, ranging from 51 to 60 depending on its ripeness. Very ripe sweet mangoes have a higher glycemic index, causing more drastic blood sugar fluctuations. According to research from Tufts University, regularly consuming high glycemic index foods is associated with an increased risk of circulatory problems and muscle degeneration in people over 60 years old. So what should you do if you love mangoes? The solution is not to give them up entirely, but to control the portion size smartly. A reasonable serving of mango should be limited to about 80 to 100 grams per time, equivalent to about half of a medium-sized mango. When eating mango, you should combine it with fiber-rich or protein-rich foods such as unsweetened Greek yogurt to slow down sugar absorption. Also, it is better to eat mango in the morning or early afternoon when the body is more active and better able to burn energy rather than at night when sugar can easily accumulate and cause leg swelling. One more thing to pay special attention to is that for those with a history of diabetes, prediabetes, or ongoing muscle pain, it is advisable to discuss with a doctor or nutritionist before regularly adding mango to your daily menu. Have you noticed any changes in your energy or leg strength after days of eating a lot of mango? If so, please share your experience in the comments section. We can always learn from real stories to take better care of our health every day. Now, after exploring familiar fruits like pineapple, banana, grapes, watermelon, orange, green apple, and mango together, you may start to view everyday foods with a more cautious eye. The fruits we have long believed to be completely beneficial actually hide silent effects on the legs, muscle strength, and joint flexibility as the body ages. The common point among these fruits is their high natural sugar content, high glycemic index, or strong acid levels, factors that a young and healthy body can easily handle. But for those over 60 years old, these become hidden burdens. When blood vessels weaken, when circulation slows, and when insulin response is no longer as sharp as before each time the body faces a blood sugar spike or mild inflammation, it leaves uncomfortable marks on the legs. It could be the quick calf fatigue after a short walk. It could be the sudden joint stiffness upon waking up. It could be nighttime cramps that wake you and leave your legs feeling heavier day by day. But the good news is, having the right awareness about the foods you bring into your body is the first and most important step to changing the situation. You do not need to completely give up your favorite fruits. You only need to make wiser choices. Control your portions better and listen to your body more carefully after each meal. Remember the strength and flexibility of your legs. Come not just from the number of steps you take each day, but from every food you choose to bring into your body. When you care for your legs by eating wisely, you are investing in your freedom, independence, and joy of living for the years ahead. If you feel that today's sharing has helped you better understand these familiar fruits, do not forget to leave a comment below. Please share with me which fruit surprised you the most. Have you ever experienced muscle fatigue or joint pain after eating any of these fruits? I would love to hear your story and walk with you step by step on this healthcare journey. And if you find today's information helpful, please click like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Because in the next videos, we will explore fruits and foods that truly support muscles, soothe joints, and help you maintain strong and flexible legs every day. See you again in the next VIDE.